please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
This is Bazaar Morning Call, live from the CNBC TV18 headquarters in Mumbai.
Good morning. Welcome to Bazaar Morning Call. I'm Lata and with me Anuj back, but Sonia on leave and Surabhi with us. So clearly Anuj is happy that Croatia won and I think Sonia is mourning the fact that England lost. Well, at least on the Asian screens, I think Surabhi and Anuj are good luck charms after a kind of a debacle in, not debacle, well, after kind of receding of all the risk appetite. Today we're actually seeing Asia kind of back on its feet. So it's, what was it? Another Trump tantrum, another occasion to buy. That's what yesterday even Jeff Dennis of UBS was telling us. It looks like all these occasions will be dips. There is a bit of a weakness in the Yuan, but at the moment, since Asia has ignored it, it is not even a point. Now, for me, the big thing is that the bulls came into control over the last 3 or 4 days. And today that's kind of getting cemented with India becoming perhaps a safe haven. There are two things that's working for us today, definitely. For always the trade tariff is beneficial for us because we are not part of the global supply chain. So, you know, even if Chinese trade goes down, Taiwan, Malaysia, Korea are all affected because they're suppliers. We are not affected. The advantages of being, an isolated economy. But the second advantage really is the big plunge in crude, $74. Yeah. So clearly the resistance is coming not just at 80, but it's now coming at 77 itself. There are some events which are coming in to bring crude down. And that could be making India a clear outperformer in EM. Yesterday, Jeff Dennis said that. And today, the FI figures seem to be proving that.
So those are the two positives that we're clearly working with. Good morning, Lata. Good morning, Anuj. But Anuj, before I even get to the market, I want to say, as a big EPL supporter, I don't know, I mean, were you in the club that's kind of heartbroken with England going out, or were you always rooting for Croatia this time around?
You know, it doesn't matter, Surabhi morning. Of course, I would have wanted England to be in the final because of, Manchester United connection. But you remember, you, me and Sonia were doing the show, and both Sonia and me actually
set a cat among the pigeons, but he's just saying public sector is just not working out in India. Anything they say, they're not able to recruit, and anything they do is being seen as a sweetheart deal. And therefore, they're passing it on to the judiciary, who should be taking banking decisions on whether the creditor doesn't pay back. So what should be, the borrower doesn't pay back. It's the creditor's right to decide, how much haircut I'll give you. But here you want everything vetted by a judiciary or a judicial element like a tribunal. So he says this doesn't, one of the best statements he made, and I think, we will come to it in a bit when we play more chunks. He said something big has to happen for us to be able to sell off the PSUs. Right now, the political environment is such that even if you're selling Air India, you have to put 35,000 crore of debt. I mean, Air India's revenues can't sustain 35,000 crore of debt, and that's why you don't get a single EOI. But if any bureaucrat were to put 8,000 crore of debt, which is sustainable, then he will be considered corrupt by a subsequent government or by, probably civil society or somebody in the system. Likewise, for public sector banks, repeatedly, Piyush Goyal says, no, it is not on the table, privatizing public sector banks, though it is an unsustainable system. But nobody has the courage to take that decision, because if you took it, you would be considered favoring some private guy to whom you're selling the entity. So he's pointing out things which we know of, but unless we answer these questions, and the other big thing that he was speaking about, stigmatized capitalism. You invite foreigners to set up factories, and they do in industry-friendly states. But the moment there is the first sign of a labor trouble or anything, the polity washes its hands off because it doesn't want to be seen siding with a foreign industrialist vis-a-vis, or even a domestic industrialist vis-a-vis labor. Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether he was hinting at Sterlite, more likely Nokia, where, labor trouble shut that plant down. Yeah. But this happens. So he said, capitalism is stigmatized, public sector is paralyzed. We are in trouble. I mean, that's candid.
Okay, well, those were interesting statements coming in. Anuj, you were saying something?
No. I like the passion with which Lata made those points.
Okay, well, the passion is going to continue, but we do need to take a very quick break. We'll come back on the other side with CNBC TV18's top 10 list of stocks for this morning. Back in just a moment. Welcome back. The SGX Nifty is telling us that it's going to be a positive start. Is this going to be the big day? Well, before we talk macros, let's just boil it down to stocks. We have our top 10 list ready for you. Anuj, what are you watching out for?
So obviously everyone will be chasing oil marketing companies. I think the stock that could be in focus is Ingenious India, because normally this stock moves with OMCs, and OMC trade is obvious. So I don't know how much will you get if you chase it. Stocks could open 5, 6, 8% higher. So after that, do you want to chase it? Or do you want to, perhaps look at something like an EIL, which normally makes a move along with OMCs, and it's defended its 20-day moving average in correction. The other one is State Bank of India. There's a good chance, that we have a macro move today, and banks may do well. And SBI has now corrected. If you see the trend line, it had that big rally post the numbers, from 240 to almost 300. I think that rally got overdone. Now the correction has also got a bit overdone in my reckoning, and today could be a good day for that rally to resume if you see the trend line of the stock. So that could be an interesting stock to track today.
Okay, Reema, I think HCL Tech, although we all know that the buyback was announced earlier, but on your radar today?
Yes, because the buyback board meeting is today. A 10% buyback would be about 3,700 crore rupees, or 2.7% of the outstanding equity. If they seek a shareholder nod and do a 25% buyback, 25% of the net worth buyback, that would be an amount of close to about 9,200 crore. Sufficient cash of close to $1.5 billion. Promoter holding at 60%, likely to participate. The company did a 3,500 crore buyback last year, and the market expectation is that this time too it will be similar to that. So about 2.5 to 3% of the outstanding equity, or 3.5 to 3,700 crore by way of an absolute size, is the market expectation. Back to you.
Okay, Reema, thanks a lot for that. Well, pharma stocks have done well. I think I have contributed some in last 10 days to their sales. But Ekta, what about Dr. Reddy's and Sun Pharma?
Well, I'll start with Dr. Reddy's, where there is positive news that Indivior has fallen around 30% overnight, which is a UK-based company, because they have withdrawn their guidance for 2018, indicating there is uncertainty with regards to Dr. Reddy's launch of Suboxone generic in the market. Remember that decision is currently pending in court, but it's definitely a positive read-through for something like a Dr. Reddy's. And separately, Sun Pharma is in focus because their wholly owned subsidiary in the US, Dusa Pharma, has filed patent infringement charges against another pharma company on account of three of their products. Maybe there'll be a little bit of uncertainty on account of that.
Okay, all right, Ekta, thanks very much for that. But Lata, back to oil. Anything else specifically that will be on your radar?
Well, as Anuj said, the immediate beneficiaries are seen as oil marketing companies, oil refining companies. But as he said, this is actually, a macro move, and it's a huge macro move, 7%. So my sense is that, okay, you will have all those paint companies and crude additives users, airlines, seeing a bump up, but most importantly, be financials. And while maybe SBI may be technically poised, I don't know, it'll be NBFCs, because they depend so much on wholesale money that this is a huge sentimental bump up for them. They're also, many of them are in oversold terrain. So I would put my money more on, put my bets more on NBFCs.
NBFC stocks. Okay, well, Coffee Day is making the headlines this morning. Let's find out, Mangalam, what's brewing?
Well, I'll tell you what's brewing. It's actually riding and brewing, because if you take a look at the company's new development, what they've done is they've tied up with Uber Eats, which is a mobile delivery platform, and this is to enable distribution of their products. So you can order Coffee Day products via your mobile phones right now. What this does is doesn't increase the sales too much, but what it also does is doesn't increase any of their expenses. So the company said this will augment the retail sales. Now, Coffee Day enterprises, the Cafe Coffee Day stores, if you take a look at the last few quarters, the average sales per day has been increasing, including the same store sales growth. That has been increasing. So positive momentum, and another move by the company to augment their retail sales should augur well for the stock.
All right. So, okay, you can recap it for us?
Yeah. Quick recap of our top 10 list this morning. Stocks with positive news flow are EIL, SBI, HCL Tech, Dr. Reddy's, Coffee Day Enterprises, IOC, BPCL, SpiceJet, Interglobe Jet, all the aviation stocks. Stocks on the losing side, actually, it's just one stock today in our list. The stock with negative bias is Sun Pharma, some negative news flow for that one. But we're not done yet because there are lots of other stocks that are making the news as well today. Sonal is wrapping up that list for us. Sonal.
Hi, good morning, Surbhi. I'll start with Power Grid. That company will be in focus because the wholly owned subsidiary that the company secured through tariff-based competitive bidding back in November 2016 has started and is commencing operations from 10th of July of this year. Quality has some negative news as it has decided to close the operations of one of its plants in Dubai, and that is because they are seeing some pressure there and also heavy slump in the international prices of S&P and AMF. That stock we'll be watching out for today. Ashapura Intimates Fashion has opened a new store in Mumbai, and it is a flagship store for them. Apart from that, they've also signed agreements for around 21 stores in the states of Gujarat and Ahmedabad. Omex will also be in focus because they have signed an agreement with Nord DMC in Delhi on 10th of July, and they'll be developing some multi-level car parking at Gandhi Maidan in Delhi. We'll be watching out for that stock as well. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that summary, Sonal. Well, we have to go into a break, but let's leave you with a very interesting chat with the Tata Motors chief. We have no plans of stopping assembly operations in India. That's the word that we got from the President and Managing Director of Jaguar Land Rover in India, Rohit Suri. Remember, in March this year, the Jaguar Land Rover had said that it would reconsider its assembly operations in India post the customs duty hike from 10 to 15% in the budget. But now, Jude Sanith, our colleague, caught up with Mohit Surana. Listen to that chat.
Your sales report is out, 66% growth in terms of sales itself. Happy considering it was projected to be a difficult year, especially after the customs duty hike on CKD kits.
We are extremely happy about it, and we are really thankful to our customers. We are very, humbled by the fact that we see a growing patronage for our cars. But I think this has happened mainly on the strength of the products and the brands. Most of our products, which includes the Jaguar XC, the Jaguar XF, the Jaguar F-Pace, the Discovery Sport, and the Range Rover Evoque, are doing extremely well. So individually, these products are doing well, and that is what has helped us to achieve this kind of growth.
Very interestingly, a few months ago, you said you were considering suspension or stoppage of local assembly plans, especially in the hike of the customs duty surrounding CKD kits. Has a decision been taken yet surrounding that, and if yes, when will you come around to that?
So we have clearly stated that we are very concerned with the high taxation which exists in India, not only customs duty but also on account of GST, because we feel that this is constraining and constricting the market, the overall market. Yeah. So the overall market in India is just about, for these cars, in the range of about 41 to 45,000 odd units, which is just a percentage of the overall passenger car market, which is almost about 3 million. Okay. So what these high taxation is doing is it is not allowing these segments to grow. And therefore, that is of concern to us. I think we are not stopped assembly of our operations at all. We are continuously, you can say, evaluating the situation.
Welcome back. That's the SGX Nifty up 33 points, 10,980. We could be actually looking at 11,000 on the index today. Ashwini Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani, and Mitesh Thakkar join us. Good morning, Ashwini. So we've had a rally. And if we have a gap up, is it worth chasing considering we have a macro push today?
Well, good morning. And till now, Bank Nifty has resisted making those 500-point moves. I think this sort of trigger often leads to that kind of a move because yesterday a lot of longs probably got cut, some shorts got created, etc. So probably you'll have a bit more follow through, and we could outperform rest of the market because we tend to take crude very seriously. So that should be the trade first up, which should be taken as the market opens up. 11,000 looks like a matter of time because yesterday the trend got tested and we basically held on to 10,900. So at some point in the next few days we should cross 11,000 unless something else happens globally. But overall the market looks strong.
Okay. Good morning, Ashwini, but you don't think the new high is set today?
How does it matter today? We have to come tomorrow also. Let it happen tomorrow.
Right. Fair enough. Good morning, Sudarshan. Well, you had taken off profits yesterday. Would you climb in back with long positions today?
Yeah, good morning, Lata. Absolutely. Today is a good day to be long in the Nifty and in the Nifty Bank. But given the fact that the Nifty Bank is underperforming, the larger volume should be focused on the Nifty. But both are available for buying. We should not miss this trade. Yesterday we had narrow range days in both the indices, and stepping out was a wise decision. Today we don't mind entering with a little higher value. That's fine. Buy the Nifty with a stop at 10,920 and buy the Nifty Bank also with a stop at 26,750. Stay on the long side of the market. It could be a lot of fun.
It could be a lot of fun. Interesting. Mitesh, so are you going to join in the fun? And if yes, then how? Because if you're getting this big gap, and then do you just kind of, you know, face it and buy the gap? Or do you wait for an intraday dip? And is that the better strategy to get in?
Good morning, sir. We already have long positions from day before yesterday, and yesterday also I think we maintained a long bias. Basically, see, I think, you know, getting past this 10,900 technically for me was very important, and I think we are heading towards the earlier highs with minor blip at about 11,070 and then 11,130 being the target. So one, we are already long. But with this gap up, I think a lot of stocks could possibly establish intraday trends on the upside. So maybe I think, you know, in the first 15-20 minutes, you will have a lot of breakouts happening, which could possibly see some of the stocks enjoy good momentum for today and tomorrow. So I think that could be the theme going forward. And the Bank Nifty, yes, I think Ashwini highlighted that. I think getting past 26,950 should add a lot of strength to Bank Nifty as well.
Okay, let's discuss individual stocks then. Ashwini, what's on your list?
Divi's Lab is a buy with a stop of 1100, target of 1165. Kotak is a buy with a stop of 1370, target of 1420. Godrej Consumer is a buy with a stop of 1300, target of 1365. Union Bank, I had a sell, but maybe now we can leave that. And Tata Motors DVR is a sell with a stop of 158, target of 146.
Fair enough. Sudarshan, what would you trade?
Well, now it's possible to trade mid-caps on the long side. Some good quality mid-caps are likely to participate in this rally. So at least some of them are worth buying into, starting with Voltas. Consider buying Voltas. It's gone through a nice and decent correction, and the chances are that the uptrend, at least while the Nifty goes up, that uptrend should now be joined by Voltas. Jubilant Foods is a buy. It's really an easy buy. You have a minor consolidation, buy it, and it goes up. So the trend is strongly up, and we want to buy Jubilant Foods. The third is Ultratech Cement. I've explained earlier how cement is bottoming out. That process is painful. It doesn't mean the stocks will go and rise on the next day, but the process is visible now. So most cement stocks are buying opportunities for position traders. For today, I have Ultratech for the intraday trader also, and if you want to build a position in both cases. But the cement is now looking at, the sector is now looking cheerful. I have two short sells, unfortunately both from the Tata Group. Tata Steel is a short, sell it into this rally which it comes about. And Tata Motors is the short sell again. Tata Motors, Ashwini also talked about the DVR, same charts for both the securities. It's a dismal chart in Tata Motors.
Sure, Sudarshan, I guess here's where technicals and maybe fundamentals even tie in, because these are the global-facing businesses of the Tata Group, and that's where sort of the turbulence or the headlines are on the downside. Anyway, Mitesh, your trades for the day.
Yeah. So I have mix of buys and sell, more of buy ideas. Havells is a buy idea. The indicator setup is quite positive, and the price gave a good pullback yesterday. So buy with a stop at 556, look for targets of 585. United Spirits is seeing some kind of negative continuation, so that's a sell with a very tight stop at 631 for targets of 595. Reliance is something which I believe has restarted some kind of a stronger medium-term uptrend, so that's a swing breakout trade. Buy with a stop at 1014, look for a target of 1090. Another sell on Motherson Sumi Systems, where the candlestick pattern yesterday was very negative. Sell with a stop at 298, look for targets of 280. And a buy on Ipca Labs with a stop at 707 for short-term targets of 765.